Well, hello, everybody. I'm John Lindsay, and I'm here tonight with Mr. Hotty Toddy himself, Mr. Ronald Burns, and together we make up Arkassippi Smoke Live, and we can't tell you how glad we are to be here tonight. Ronald, how are you, my friend?
John, doing good. Feel like this is Monday night almost, but I know it's not. So, and we're just super pumped to be here.
Yes, we are.
Bring this show to everybody. I think the suspense is out there, and man, we couldn't be more proud to bring you this show tonight.
Man, we're going to have one heck of a show tonight. We want to tell you a little bit about the folks that we're going to have on board with us tonight for this show. As you know, Blake Kitchens, one of our team members, Team Arkassippi, one of our new members, but it's not like he's new. I mean, we've known Blake for a long time and wanted him on the team. And we kind of go together like peas and carrots, you kind of say. But Blake Kitchens is one of those kind of folks that has a heart for a lot of different people. And he put on a great contest this past weekend down in Carrollton, Georgia. And it went to support our veterans with the Fallen Outdoors. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But there's some things that came out of that was really unique and really special. We're going to talk about that. We actually have one of those veterans on that cooked that contest, Mr. Chance Brown. Got out there and got his feet wet and had 2 fourth-place calls, beat some of the best in the business, first contest ever. And here's the niche. We had a couple of our Team Arkassippi members, Mr. John Pendray, and, of course, the man of the hour that we talk about just about every show anymore, Mr. Marty Plute. And they kind of took Chance under their wing out there. And, man, they just bonded. And, they had a chance to see in first place and in action how helping somebody else can really make a difference. And there's just so much to talk to. We're going to let Blake tell this story here in just a minute. But it's one you want to hear, and it's one full of inspiration. And, my friend, in the day in which we live, we need some feel-good stories from time to time, and this is one of them tonight. So I'm excited and thrilled to death to meet Mr. Chance. And, of course, we got Marty and Blake on with us tonight. Got another special guest we'll be telling you about in just a minute. We ain't going to let that cat out of the bag, but everybody will know him when he pops on here. And, of course, one of our Florida connection, 2 of our great, outstanding cooks. And, man, these folks are on fire in the SCA circuit. Mr. Jim Haskett and Lora Haskett. I tell you what, to get them on our team and then be a part of our team, Arkassippi, and for them to be able to get down there and do what they're doing is just, Ronald, it just tickles me to death, my friend. These folks are on fire.
Yeah, man. Like I said last year, I mean, there's contests everywhere now up the East Coast. Florida. All through our region, Texas, Northeast, Northwest. In that area, there is in every area you go to in this country, and that's the great thing about this sport.
Right.
There are top-notch cooks anywhere you go.
Anywhere.
Now, to say this, that you don't have to be a seasoned cook. You can be in the ballpark, have someone help you get in the ballpark, and you can go out there and compete. That's the great thing about this sport.
Yep. And that's exactly right. And I'm just so glad that Jim and Laura came on board and be a part of our team. And they're winners, and they're just doing great. We're going to talk to them about how they dialed it in. Yeah. They're in one of the tough areas down there. Florida's always been tough. Now it's tough for a couple of reasons. Used to, you had to travel a whole bunch. You just ask John Pendray what it takes to get out there and run for points and things like that out of Florida. Jerry Buck and some of these guys that do it. But that's one thing. But the competition is so stiff. That Florida group down there is chock full of some of the best cooks in the United States, whether it's barbecue, steak, any kind of grilling. It's just a huge, to get in there and be able to compete is just something that is a huge honor to be able to get to do. So, we're excited about that. But anyway, going to be a great, great night. Candace Rogers said SCA setting on more 200 more comps than last year currently. Be scheduled all the time. So that's awesome. SCA is really, really growing. Kevin Kelly, good to see you tonight, my friend, one of our new sponsors of our show with Kelly's Gourmet Mustard. Good to see you, brother. It's going to be a great show tonight. We got some things going on. Ronald, before we do anything, want to give a couple of shout outs, before we get going. First of all, I want to tell you first right up, me and Ronald Burns, both our teams, 2021 Team Royal Oak. I'm going to tell you, it keeps the fires hot, keeps the steaks cooking, and doing all the things that it needs to do. Proud to be a part of that wonderful team. Proud to be part of Team Royal Oak. Also, remember the Arkassippi combo. If you want to be bold, step out there and join the movement. Arkassippi Nation, be a part of it today and tag us on Facebook and let us know what you think about that combo. We had a gentleman there just popped up a minute ago, said he tried it just for this weekend somewhere down the line. Great rubs from the both of you. We appreciate that, my friend, and our hats off to you. Also, Ron, we want to talk about our 2021 sponsors. Got some good ones here tonight. Tell us a little bit about them quickly here, Ron.
Yeah, first of all, we've got, I usually end up with him, but I'm going to start tonight with Big Jim Hudgens and the Steak and More Rub. We are certainly happy to be friends with Jim Hudgens, and also we're happy to have him on as one of our 2021 show sponsors. Jim Hudgens, Steak and More Rub.
Yes,
then
sir.
We have Bama Barbecue Supply, Mr. Rob Fleming. Rob is not only just the owner of a barbecue supply, he's a heck of a cook too. So we are certainly happy to have Bama Barbecue Supply as one of our show sponsors. Townsend Spice and Supply, Shane and Lawson Lynn and their staff. They keep the bottles of that Arkassippi combo rolling off, and we're certainly proud of our partnership with them.
Yes, sir.
We got Maggie's Farms, which that's the home of Lottie's Pepper Jelly, Mr. Chad Whittington. We're certainly happy to see all of the good things that's coming from Chad and the Lottie's Pepper Jelly. I saw he had a new location that came out in the last couple of days is carrying that. So we're certainly happy to have him on as a 2021 show sponsor.
Yes, sir.
And our new sponsor, Kelly's Gourmet Mustard. We're certainly happy to have Kelly's Gourmet on as a 2021 show sponsor, and can't wait to get my hands on some of that, John. So we're certainly happy to have Kelly's on as a show sponsor.
I like to smear a little of that mustard on ribs, pork. Might even catch me putting it on steak. But anyway, it turns out real good. Yeah. This is some good stuff right here. Now, real quick, I know we got just another couple of minutes we want to mention. Now, folks, we're going to talk about a couple of special contests in the middle of the show to break everything up. Talk about them in just a few minutes, but we want to have a highlight every week of some new people that is carrying our product. Now, I want to tell you, Ron, this has been a huge week for the Arkassippi combo. We've shipped shippers out and product out all over, honestly, all over the world. This week, it's went everywhere. Boost Your Barbecue is one of those new sites, Mr. Chris Kosman, that's carrying our product, and they carry all of it along with a lot of different people's stuff. And he is a great guy. He's a fellow competitor. Give him a shot. Check him out. Boost Your Barbecue, carrying the product, and he'll treat you enough ways that you're going to like one of them. I promise you that. And so be sure and watch out for Chris Kosman, Boost Your Barbecue. Also, we just got back off from the Arkassippi Road Show, and we did a boot camp over at Pits and Grills this past weekend. We had several people in our class, had a great class, and Jim Alltech put on a big judges class right afterwards. I tell you what, it was a great day for the SCA family on Sunday this weekend, Ronald, over there at Pits and Grills.
Yeah, John, it sure was. We got a chance to really talk about why we love the SCA. It wasn't all just about techniques and steak cooking. We had a lot of questions about, competitions and things of that nature. It was a great opportunity for us to really promote the SCA. And we had some great questions about SCA and about competitions as well as techniques for steak. And we had a great class. It was really good for me. And I know that, everyone was there, had a blast because they just kept telling us, how much they enjoyed it. So it was a great class.
We've got more we can tell you, but we'll wait till the middle of the show, kind of break it up with a little bit more information. But right now, without any further ado, last week we told you that there was a great contest that was going to be put on with one of our Arkassippi members, Mr. Blake Kitchens. Actually, Blake tried to come on here last week. tell you a little bit about that show, but he just kept losing signal. But anyway, I think he's got a little bit better outlet there tonight. He's plugged in and wired, Ronald. Let's put it that way. And anyway, we're going to bring Blake on to talk about that contest, talk about falling outdoors, and then we're going to bring two guys on that was part of that. So let's get a little bit of info first. Bring him on, make him welcome. Mr. Blake Kitchens with us tonight. Hound Hogs Barbecue team, steak team. Good to see you, brother. How you doing?
Your mic,
Blake, unmute you. Unmute.
Yeah. There you go.
I had to have some issue, or it just wouldn't have been right.
You know, I started to say, "Oh no, not again!" Now, come on, let's do. Hey, good to see you, Blake. Man, I tell you what, you had a stem winder down there in Georgia this last weekend. Tell us a little bit about how your contest did, and then tell us about this great organization, that charity that it went to help promote and do good things for these veterans.
Yeah. So the contest went awesome. I mean, I'm a huge planner. I'm a spreadsheet guy. I know exactly how I want things to go. And honestly, looking back, I think everything went exactly as we had planned. Steaks turned out great. You know, the venue worked really well for what we wanted. And I just had a lot of guys that seemed to enjoy it. You know, one of my things from the beginning was I wanted this to be a cook's cook. I want people to want to come back next year because I know that's how you build a successful contest. And I think we accomplished that this year.
Hey,
so
Ronald, he just said something here. Now let's stop him right here and talk about this. And this isn't what this segment's about, but it's just worth talking about. You just said that you wanted it to be a cook's cook and you knew how to build a contest. Ronald, if I could say this to any promoter out there, put yourself in the position of the cook and you can have a successful contest. You know, if you don't listen to the cooks, you can almost bet your bottom dollar that you will not be successful. And that goes everything from steak select, the type steaks you're using, to the venues and everything else. And so, wouldn't you say that that's some great advice, Ronald?
Yeah, John, there's so many contests right now too, and you've got a lot of new promoters that's coming in, and which is a great thing. But that contest in Georgia, they were very fortunate to have Blake.
Yes, sir.
Blake's cook, and you know that he's going to be a cook's promoter, and so there was no doubt in my mind that that contest was going to be top notch. So, Blake, hats off to you, brother. I know you guys had a successful contest.
I appreciate it, and we're excited because I mean we wanted to do one. And then somehow we got a wild hair and we're already signed up to do the Georgia State Championship. And so we're taking everything we learned from this one and we're going to apply it to that next one and try to do, even above and beyond that. So,
right. So tell us a little bit about the Veterans Organization Fallen Outdoors.
Let me kind of start with two of my team members, Dawson and Zach. You guys have probably seen them. I know when we first met y'all up in, I think it was Hartselle or somewhere around there. They were there. They're both prior service Marines. And so we were talking about doing a contest, and we're not in it trying to make money. And so the question was, well, who do we want to raise money for? And so they're really passionate about finding an organization that did something for veterans, called up Mike McElwaney, and he's like, hey, I got a guy I went to school with back in
Big
the day,
Mike. Yep.
And so we got in touch with Chance. And of course, we're outdoors guys. Zach is probably the biggest hunter of us all. I do it when I can, but it kind of fit the mold for us. We love being outdoors. We love doing things outside. And we also love the mission of, hey, let's get these guys back involved. Let's get their mind off of things. Let's help them get plugged into something, give them something to be passionate about. And just getting to know Chance and those guys, it's a really, really good organization that we chose to work with. So it was a good decision on our part.
Right. And the Fallen Outdoors pretty much, they try to, the mission is to organize outdoor adventures for veterans, whether present service, past service, whatever. Try to give back to them and bring a little bit of enjoyment to them and get them involved in some things. And, God knows after the service that some of these folks and the sacrifices that some of them have made, they need to know how much we appreciate and how much we support them. And so this is a worthy organization.
one of the things that kind of makes them a little bit different than a lot of organizations is they don't just work with just disabled veterans or just veterans who deal with PTSD. As long as you were honorably discharged, you're more than welcome to put in for one of their events. Like Zach has already been on a coon hunt, because he signed up for one. But, they're open to all veterans. And so we really like that. But like I said, we're planning on this being a yearly thing where we go back and continue to support them and raise even more money for them. So we're already talking next year how we're going to make it even better for them.
So Ronald, last week on our show, as we were talking about this event and Blake's event, of course, Blake, you knew that Arkassippi was behind you 110, and me and Ronald couldn't be there because of we already had this scheduling conflict. But we had other people on. That's the thing about having a team. That's why, this ain't about just me and Ronald. It's about our team. And Marty Plute, John Pendray, I'm just saying some names. I know Brian and Leanne were there. I don't know who all on the team. You're going to have to probably refresh my memory. But we had a host of teammates there that had stepped up. Now, Marty, before the show went off last week, said, I want to sponsor a veteran. And want them to come to my tent and cook. I'll have everything set up for them. I'm ready to do that. And so, therefore, you put Marty Plute with Chance Brown, which was a match made in heaven. So let's bring these two characters on tonight, which everybody knows, the Plutester, Mr. Marty Plute. Marty, it seems like we're singing your praises somewhere every weekend. Before this thing's over with, you're going to get the big head. But we don't care. We love you anyway, my friend. Look at there.
Look at there.
We can see it right there.
Oh, baby.
Yep. Marty, I want to tell you before we bring Chance on, we can't tell you how much we appreciate, number one, you being on our team and being our friends. But number two, for what you stand for and what you've done. Blake, this was you got them matched up here together. Did you ever think this thing was going to turn out quite the way it did?
Honestly, man, when I knew he was cooking with Marty, I had a feeling I was going to get beat. That's just the truth of the matter, because I know how good and consistent of a cook Marty is. And, I've taught a lot of my team members, and somehow they end up beating me. So I know when somebody's there helping you, you can do great things. And, Marty, he was so excited. I think he was more excited after he finished than he was before he got started. And he'll probably tell you about that here in a little bit.
Yep. Right. So let's bring Chance on. Now, Chance is the veteran that Marty sponsored during this cook. And Chance knew nothing about state cooking as far as competition level. So let's bring him on right now, Mr. Chance Brown. Chance, good to see you, brother. Good to see you, my friend.
Good evening.
Man of the hour right there. So let you know what happened was some of the best cooks in the United States was down there in Carrollton, Georgia at your contest, Blake. Chance Brown comes in. Him and Marty kind of get hooked up. John Pendray is there, standing in line with you on stake selection, kind of helping point in right directions. These guys you kind of pick their brain. Of course, you've got to be a dang good cook to begin with, even though you hadn't competed, to be able to get out and do what you done. But they kind of help pointing you in the right direction. You get out here and start popping steaks on the grill, come up with 2 fourth-place calls in a field that any of us would have given our eye teeth to been in the top 5 on these things. On your first contest, SCA in the best competition in the United States. Brother, how does it make you feel, Chance? Seriously, brother.
The first time I heard my number called, I was like, well, that's pretty cool. Marty went damn near nuts on me.
He does that from time to time, just so you know.
And then that second walk got called, and I think everybody in that area just erupted.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, this is pretty cool. And it wasn't until later that I'm sitting there thinking, all right, well, the number 2 in the world from this year, I scored ahead of him. And then Marty and Blake and John. And I was like, there must be something to this. And I didn't really even get the full grasp of everything until later on when I talked to Mike McElwaney, who was my roommate when I joined the Army. I kind of abandoned him in our apartment. And I said, is that kind of a big deal for 2 top 5 walks? And he goes, for your first walk, a top 10 would be great. He goes, 2 top 5 walks is phenomenal, especially with the group that we had out there. And I was like, let's give this a go.
So, go ahead, Mark.
DAL, bud.
Huh?
Your roommate wanted you to be DAL. Which is
Yes, he wanted me to be DAL.
He was forward on that one, brother.
And I probably would have been happy with DAL because they gave out a bottle of whiskey.
Ronald's going to take over here in just a minute, but let's say a couple of things before we let Ronald have the floor. Marty, when you brought him on board with you and kind of got him in there, how long did it take you to figure out that Chance was pretty much a natural at what he was doing? I know you said he had some natural knife skills. He was picking it up pretty quick. You know how hard it is to train folks to do this. I mean, how long did it take you, like Marty, just to figure it out?
Blake killed it. He paired us up. It was awesome. He walked over to the trailer. We did a team meeting. I told everybody on the team, I said, help him with you're in line. So we all did it. But Blake set this whole thing up. And the dude's got knife skills. I'll just tell you right now.
That's years of getting animals.
There you go.
He does it all. So he did knife skills. So.
Chance, how long did it take you to sink in and feel comfortable? And how big a part did John Pendray and Marty Plute and Blake play in your success? And I know you hadn't been a part of this. You've been a part of fraternity that is one of the ultimate fraternities in your service. Now, number one, we want to say, first of all, thank you for your service. Our hat is off to you, my friend. We want you to know that. And we appreciate what you've done for our country. Yeah. But in the sacrifices you've made.
Marty's a veteran too.
Marty's a veteran too. Hats off to you, Marty. Yes, sir, 100%. And I think probably y'all had a camaraderie there, Marty, because of that.
Friends. Instant friends. So.
Yeah. And so you have something to kind of. And Marty, was your parents in the military too? Was your? I thought so. We talked. Yeah. So I mean, you've been indoctrinated in that
world. Yes.
Yes, sir. I believe Sheila called you a military brat. Is that what she said?
Yes.
So yeah. We had to. Yeah, I remember her saying that specifically. But anyway, I guess what we're saying is it was a natural, kind of a natural connection y'all had. Yeah. And Chance, how long did it take you to get comfortable doing what you did there and kind of sinking in?
Well, whenever we got to draw the numbers for our stakes, I think stake A, I drew a relatively low number. I might have been 5 for my first draw. And Mr. John Pendray was right there with me, and they said if he looks at a stake and puts it down, you pick it up.
Okay. That's good to know, isn't it, Ronald?
Yeah, exactly.
And then, we got back in there, and I'm like, if I had seen this steak at a restaurant, I would have paid him $100 for this steak. And Marty's like, no, you got to cut it in half. This is what you got to do. I'm like, you're going to throw away all that good steak? Are you serious? But he told me what I was looking at and what the judges are looking for. So I started cutting and trimming. Thank you, Miss Sheila. And I don't even know. Blake asked me what my plan was for seasoning, and I'm like, I'm a purist. I want salt and pepper. So the entire time he thought I was cooking on salt and pepper. But I did my practice. It needed something, so we do some more for stake A and come out in 4th. Just repeated that for B. So
there you go.
Awesome.
Nothing to it, right?
Nothing to it.
It's
After I
fun.
realized he was doing salt and pepper, I tried to convince him it was a good idea. The judges really liked that.
Yeah.
Hey, Clay, I had to go borrow pepper from Miss Tanya because we didn't have
Yeah.
pepper in the trailer.
Yeah.
I said I used salt, pepper, gunpowder, and some Copenhagen.
Man, that's so awesome. And you kind of just got in there. You had to hit all your marks to be able to get in the top 5. And so you figured out how to get it off at the right temperature. You got some good grill marks on it. You evidently had to get all that going.
Miss Sheila was sitting there watching the timer and yelling at me.
You better believe we had a hold to a timeline.
Yes, sir.
And by the time I finished up with that first steak, I knew exactly what needed to be done for steak number 2. So I just did what I did the first time.
Guys, I want to tell y'all all how much we appreciate everything that you've done and being part of SCA. And of course, now one more thing, Chance, before we turn this to Ronald, you, I hear you're a new member of the SCA family, my friend. So would you say you just kind of took hook, line, and sinker down there in Georgia? You got Blake to blame for this, and Marty and Sheila and John and.
Yeah, so my wife was there with me at the competition, and I had a couple volunteer staffers with me from the Fallen Outdoors, as I am Georgia's treasurer for the Fallen Outdoors. But as we left the event, my wife was like, "There's something special about what we just went through."
There you go.
And I said, "Yeah, the positive camaraderie was something that I don't think either one of us very experienced during any kind of competition or sports."
Yeah.
So even though you're competing against somebody, when that somebody number gets called and they walk, everybody cheered for their competitor. And it was because everybody's friends and family. And I was like, I want to be a part of that.
Oh,
Good
man,
deal.
I want to tell you.
Good
And,
deal.
you know, if we'd have had some folks out there that was bitter, if you heard a bunch of grumbling, if you'd have heard a bunch of people that was cutting other people down and all kinds like that, you might have thought twice.
Right.
But you got around out there again with folks like Blake and Marty Plute, people that are always on the top side, people that are epitome of what the SCA family is all about. Brian and Leanne Caruso, the list, Brianna, the list goes on. I mean, you know, and man, I'm gonna tell you, it gets contagious. And those 2 4th places didn't hurt anything either, brother. So, so that brought it on. So Ronald, we got just another little something special here. We got another 3 or 4 minutes we'll want to get. Why don't you take the floor? I've said enough, and we got some things we want to mention tonight.
Yeah, you know, first of all, Chance, you know, congratulations. You couldn't have been paired with any better folks there with Marty, Sheila, and, you know, John Pendray, Tanya, and Blake, obviously, and all those guys. And, man, you know, you experienced exactly why we do what we do. We love this SCA family. It is a competition. Yes, we're there to win, but at the end of the day, it's the friendships, the camaraderie, the fellowship that we have with everybody. That's why we do what we do. And, you know, John and I have really prided ourselves on, you know, trying to make sure that we help out in a big way. And tonight, what we'd like to do is to offer you a membership on Team Arkassippi. And if you would accept that, we would furnish you the rubs for competition. You would be a part of our team. You join our family. And then you could cook with Marty whenever you wanted to then. How's that?
I'd be honored.
Hey,
Okay.
That's
Good.
great.
Welcome.
Now,
Welcome
Now-
to Team Arkassippi.
along with that, Mr. Chance, he's something he's left out. But Ronald, you want me to go ahead and bring another guy on?
Yeah,
here
I was
with
going to
us?
let you I'm going to introduce you to a friend of ours here.
Well, friend, say hello to our little friend right here. If you don't know who that man is, that's Mr. Travis McGee. And
Hey,
Travis,
how are you?
How y'all doing?
Good. Travis,
Go ahead,
Travis is the owner of M Grills, which Marty and I both are fortunate enough to be on Team M Grills. And, if we give you seasonings and things of that nature, and Marty and John and Blake have given you, all their knowledge and experience and expertise, the man's got to have a grill. Okay.
Yeah.
So Travis, John, Marty, and I are going to make sure that you get a M Grills M16 to cook on. How's that, brother?
That's right, brother.
Man, thank you so much. That is awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And let me introduce you to Mr. Travis McGee, and I think he's got a few words he'd like to say to you.
All right.
Hey guys. Hey, I'm glad you got to me in time, because I think I had like 5% battery left on my phone. I was like, don't die on me. But hey, Chance, thank you so much, for your service. And, it means a lot to us. When these guys approached me and Sheila about everything that took place, I'm like, man, that's awesome. SCA, it doesn't get any better. I love it. I mean, my gosh, I was at Memphis in May this past week, and I think I talked about the SCA more than anything to everybody. So, it's a great organization. You're going to have a blast, but yeah, you need a grill to cook on, and we're going to set you up with the best out there. So, and on top of that, we're also throwing in an M16, the new adjustable stand for you too. So you're going to have a folding cart, stainless steel grill,
Yes, sir, brother.
Marty and Ronald cook on. So, you're going to be set up. And I can't wait to cook against you on the SCA trail and have you kick my butt and show me how it's done.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
When we approached Travis with what we wanted to do here tonight and how we wanted to do it, Travis was on board 110%. And it's our honor to be a part of seeing you have one of the premier grills that's across the SCA circuit. And we can't tell you how much we appreciate being a part of that tonight with you. Travis, thank you so much for just being part of things. You've been a good guy since day one, and we can't tell you how much we appreciate you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, what y'all think about that? That's awesome, isn't it?
Okay, Chance. Tell us what you think, brother.
Man, that's unbelievable. I've been sitting here since Sunday night, going through, looking at different grills online, and so went in fourth place in both events, walked away with a check, and I tried to give Marty the first check because he paid for my slot, and he refused. So that $300 has since gone to the Fallen Outdoors.
Good.
Oh man,
Good
there
deal.
you go. Yes, sir.
Good deal, brother.
What we do at the Fallen Outdoors is we utilize nature, the therapeutic qualities that we have in nature it's therapy for some of us who are avid hunters or avid fishermen and stuff like that. So it helps our guys cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, daily stressors, and we're really trying to prevent another veteran suicide and bring awareness to the 22-a-day veteran suicide epidemic that we're dealing with. So the money that was won with being that fourth place position, that's going to be able to support our mission of combating the veteran suicide. It's going to put more veterans and active military guys in the waters and in the woods and on the waters here in Georgia. So, now I don't have to spend money on a grill, so I can.
You sure don't, my friend.
There you go.
So thank you all so much.
Yeah, and let me tell you something else too. Our hats off to Ken Phillips, Brett Galloway for the platform that they've given us here. Without this platform, we couldn't be doing any of what we're doing. And this is just another example of that. Man, we were super pumped. And let me tell you something. I've been around Marty Plute a lot. He's one of my best friends. I've never really seen him choked up, but that boy was choked up. Let me tell you, he called me Saturday night, and he was in a mode that I hadn't seen that boy. I'm telling you. So you were a part of making their weekend, man. I'm here to tell you. and you don't know how proud we are to make this happen for you tonight. And we're just super pumped about it.
Like, I can't thank y'all enough. My mission now that I'm going to be in the circuit is I am going to be cooking for the Fallen Outdoors. Everywhere that I travel is going to be, Fallen Outdoors banners behind me, wearing the shirts and everything else. So that's just going to be that many more individuals who are going to learn about the Fallen Outdoors and our mission. So being able to spread the word of what we do for our veterans is more important than any dollar amount that y'all can give me. But thank you for giving me that platform to be able to do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. And I'll tell you something else too. John and I, sometime down the road, we want to get with you because we definitely want to be a part of helping this organization down the road. Blake, I know you guys are going to have other contests and things. So let's put our heads together sometime because, man, things like this there's other veterans out there that I'm sure would love the same opportunity that you had. And hey, that's what we're all here for.
That's 100% right.
All of this stuff that we're doing and taking in could be taken away from us tomorrow. So we're all about doing what we can to help others. And man, we're just super pumped about that. And congratulations this weekend. Travis, thank you, brother. I appreciate it so much. You're the man. You're the man.
Good to see you guys. And let me tell you something. SCA family's the best. And Ronald and I had a great weekend with SCA family in Springfield, but we missed this. But this gave us a little something to be a part of it tonight. So thank y'all. Chance, can't wait to meet you in person. Marty Plute, keep cooking, brother. Blake Kitchens, good to see you. And Travis McGee, keep making them grills, buddy. We'll see y'all.
One more thing to say, and it goes to Marty.
Woo! There he is.
Again, thank y'all very much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Awesome folks right there. Travis, we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Travis.
All right. Great folks right there.
Wow.
Can't wait to meet Chance in person. Member of Team Arkassippi and new member of the SCA family. And Ronald, when you make a difference, you're always a winner when you give back.
That's
I don't
right.
care what you do.
For sure.
We got Lora and Jim Haskett that's going to be on board with us tonight. And, man, Lora and Jim are on fire and just doing an outstanding job. We're going to go ahead and bring them on board with us right now. And Lora is cooking lights out. Jim's doing the same. I kind of thought Jim might be starting out a little slower and her beating him a little bit, but now he's coming back and forth. And, man, they're just doing some great things. So let's bring them on. Without any further ado, some of our Florida SCA family and Team Arkassippi family, Miss Lora Haskett, Jim Haskett, come on board with us, folks. Good to see you tonight.
Hey. Hey, guys.
How are y'all?
What show you're having here?
What you think about Chance over there?
Man, Chance, you still listening? Welcome to the family and welcome to Team Arkassippi. Can't wait to run up with you, and I'm sure we will hook up sometime here in Georgia, Florida area.
Yep. Great guy. Y'all are some good folks too. Laura, I know you have come on board. I know it's no secret you kind of battled some things over this last year or two. And I remember when you were going through with some of the health problems you went through. I didn't know you, but I knew I'd prayed for you, and we got to be Facebook friends. Doing great now and out on the circuit winning. Y'all have turned this thing upside down and just, just doing great. So tell us a little bit about how you got started steak cooking. I'm going to buzz off just a minute to handle a couple of things here. Ronald's going to take over. I'll be right back with you. But tell the SCA family and the Arkassippi Nation, hey, how'd y'all get started steak cooking? Where did it come from? And tell us a little bit about your love for it.
All right. Started out in September 2015. Brett Galloway came to Fernandina Beach and showed a bunch of barbecue guys what the steak contest was about. And we, very first contest, I walked 10th in that contest. I was excited for all get out on that. And for a couple of years, I was the griller. It was me.
I was the timekeeper.
there with the time exactly and keep me in check. And now she's involved in grilling and beating me all the time. So I'll let her take it from there.
Yeah, my first cook was up in Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston, South Carolina. So the SCA used to have a rule that you only one person could cook on a grill. And in Charleston, they were doing a green egg fest and they were providing the grills. So I decided to cook and walked in 10th. He didn't do so good.
I had the very first time I ever tried a pan sear in an egg. I've never cooked in an egg for steak. So I did a pan sear and I had that thing going 1,000 degrees. The public, I was like, look how hot this thing gets. It's going to really sear this steak. And it did. And I kept flipping it. And before I knew it, that steak just fell apart.
Yeah.
So very close.
Yeah,
Very close to it.
It was a long ride home, I'll say that.
Yeah, I bet. And you guys are in a part of the country where great cooks are not in short order. That's for sure. I mean, I just off the top of my head, Brian Coleman, Gene Skillen, Randy McKnight, the Pendrays, John and Tanya. Then up in the part of Georgia, you got Jerry and Amy and Kyle Hampson and all those guys. And so knowing the competition that you knew you were going to have to compete again week after week, what did you do technique wise to try to up your game? And obviously you both have a gold ticket. You both have been very successful in the last year or more. What did you do to really up your game with your technique?
Well, here's a plug. I changed to Arkassippi Combo. Number one.
There you go.
Good girl.
That fixes a lot of it, I promise.
It does.
We think people think we're joking with it, but when you've got good balanced flavors, it don't matter what, and that just so happens is what the combo does. It balances everything out. And it's made to do that. And that's one thing you don't have to worry about anymore. Yeah. You can focus on your other stuff.
The thought process out of that.
Yeah.
Part of it. So, when I started using Arkassippi Combo and I started walking. So, I mean, I was walking before, but I was walking more consistently. So last year, like you said, I had health concerns. I had breast cancer last year. So out of the cooking circuit. So I had to go back in and I'm like full steam ahead. What can I do? And I heard Arkassippi Combo. I'm like, what's that? I started using it, and lo and behold, I like one of my first contests, I ended up walking in first and third.
I remember.
And, so it worked. And then this year we've just been full steam ahead. I think the biggest tip I have is writing a timeline down and do not change it once you got your timeline down. So then you're consistent. I think that's my biggest.
Consistency is the key. I mean, we got people helping us out, like Brian Coleman talking to us about the hasty bake.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We were both cooking the hasty bake. He tells us how many charcoals he uses. And I'm like, you count your charcoal? For consistency, you would do that. So shout out to Brian Coleman for that tip. That is definitely a pro tip. And now I got an M16 that I'm working with. So she's still in hasty bake. I'm working on both grills. I'm like, they're both top-notch grills. They really are.
Yes, they are. And people don't know how me and Ronald get along so well, with me on Hasty Bake Pro Staff and him on M Grills. And, hey, it's one of those deals. We know both of them are great grills. I mean, both of them will cook you a winning steak. Ronald knows his like the back of his hand, and I know my Hasty Bakes like the back of my hand. And I love Nick Parsons, and Ronald does too, and I love Travis McGee, and Ronald does too, and it just works. And it's not all about it's learning what you're cooking on, and every grill is not a great fit for everybody. But it sounds like now Miss Lora, Jim wasn't really sold on that Arkassippi Combo.
No, he wasn't.
Until you just kept popping him, just kind of hitting him in the nose about every time you could go.
He kept showing me the taste scores, and I was like, okay, let me listen. And then John talked to me about the Lairology 101, and it made sense.
We also had that contest that Jim forgot his other rubs at home.
That's true.
That don't hurt, does it?
And so I'm like, okay, well, here, do this. and he got the highest taste score of the contest. So
There it is.
Okay, are
I've
you
saw-
sold now?
And I've seen some of your steaks that you cooked, whatnot, and they're beautiful. Y'all are just doing an excellent job with what you're doing.
Appreciate that.
What is your hardest category to hit right now?
Texture
Yours too, Jim?
seems to be the
Yeah.
texture
certainly.
seems to be the one that is kind of a target that sometimes we hit it and sometimes we don't.
Do you have anything you might want to just mention? Pro tip, something, don't give the farm away for sure, but something to maybe point somebody in the right direction that's struggling with that texture, something you did to kind of get on the right track with it to kind of help you through it.
We started using Wicked Pig.
Wicked Pig.
Yeah.
And there's a certain way you got to use it.
Yeah,
It's-
you
there is.
gotta practice with it, and you gotta know what you're doing with it because it'll
Right.
mess your steak up pretty quickly. But I think that made a big difference when we started using Wicked Pig.
Yeah, we've got eyes to kind of look at our appearance. We've got all kind of gadgets to tell us about doneness, but there's no gadgets that tells us about texture.
No,
We all learn little tricks to test it that we think that in our mind, but every steak is different. But you know what? That's the great thing about this. No one out there can say that they're 100% dialed in on everything.
yeah,
And, it's kind of like racing. One race, your car's doing really well. Everything just dials up perfect. And then the next race, there's something that's just a little off. Well, if everyone's car was perfect every weekend, it wouldn't be any fun.
No.
that's true.
And we wouldn't have anything to talk about. But I'll tell you what, guys, tonight brought a lot in perspective for me. We're out there competing week in and week out, but I think sometimes we lose the sight of why we're actually there. This show tonight and just to see Marty and John and all the other guys that helped Chance out. And that's what it's about. That's what SCA family is all about right there.
Yeah.
SCA family last year when I had my breast cancer, they came to the plate and did it was amazing what they did. We were friends with everybody, but actually seeing that in practice and seeing what people do when it comes to support was amazing. And we did judging, so we learned about the SCA judges too, and everybody's family, and we just love it. It's been a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and we're talking about texture. Yeah, Wicked Pig right now is one of the things that we talk to a lot of people. We had a couple of people in our class this weekend that had never used it. And John showed them the technique of doing that. I actually did a mechanical tenderization and showed them a little different twist on it. And so that's one of the things right now that keeps popping up out there. And Matt Overson has a great product.
Great product. Great.
And, that's one of the things that I laughed about Richie when we were at the World Championship. His little daughter, during the award, she turned and asked him, said, "Daddy, are you using Wicked Pig?" He said, "Well, I'm not right now." She said, "Well, maybe you need to. Everybody up there says they are."
I think we had a similar conversation. I'm like, wow, all those people are using Wicked Pig. We need to figure out what this stuff is.
and there's a certain way. It doesn't matter what you're using. If it's using a fork and you're mechanically tenderizing, or you're using Wicked Pig, there's. I think where people get into trouble with that is you take every steak exactly the same. You say, "I'm going to put it in there 6 minutes." Don't matter what it is. And friend, I'm going to tell you something. If you're doing that, no, you will not have consistent results. You've got to figure out what your steak's like before it goes in.
Every steak is different.
Every steak is different.
And Steve Noble made a great point right here. He said it's about to get very hot and everything changes again. What you thought you had dialed in changes. Guys, that's exactly. I'll tell you my personal story. Last year, when the temperatures were in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, that was when I was at my best. And when things started cooling off, trying to turn around and dial things back in, that was a great point, Steve Noble, because when steaks sit out there on the table and at 90 degrees and starts to break down, you've got a whole different challenge with texture right there in front of you again.
Well, if you want warm steaks, you can always come to Florida. It's always warm.
Ronald, are you saying that you're fixing to catch? Are you saying that you feel like you're fixing to catch on fire? That this is your time of year?
I don't know. We'll see.
Saying, don't you?
I need to. I'll tell you that. That's for
I know
sure.
one thing. Last year, before you turn around, he racked up 7 first-place wins in no time, and and then the weather changed, and bam, it makes a difference. And me and Alan Newton talk about this pretty regular about how this weather changes the steak cooking, and it makes a big difference here with us.
Yeah.
It does.
Your humidity down there is a little bit different than ours here. So,
Yeah.
you get down in Jamie Cooley down in Mississippi, you get some humidity gets so thick, you can cut it with a knife down in them areas down in there.
Yeah.
So we know all about it. What about, I know that we're talking about texture. What do you do? And we got just another few minutes here. What do you do, and how are you doing hitting your doneness this year? Tell us a little bit about that one, because that's another one that's a little hard for everybody trying to keep.
Well, I figured out what temperature. I started cooking only tri-hearts. I was cooking spinella steaks forever, and I started cooking only tri-hearts, and I figured out what temperature to pull them at. And that because of that, they've been pretty consistent. I will shout out to Barbecue Champs Academy classes. I know John's got one. There's a couple, Will Collier and Matt Overson. Those classes, they talk about that and doneness. I highly recommend taking one of those classes too.
Or more.
Or 2 or 3, because you can always learn something from somebody.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago, one of the cooks said, don't be too standoffish. Don't think that you can't learn something, because you can.
Yeah.
You can learn something from.
Yeah.
You can learn something from just cooking with a friend. You can learn something from a class. Humble yourself and appreciate the fact that you can learn something.
And I'll say this again. This is one thing that's so great about this SCA. Classes, mentorships from fellow competitors can put you in the ballpark. And I said this before at Fort Worth this year, and I said it to Ken and Brett both. That was an awesome, awesome weekend for SCA. Number one, we crowned the first female world champion, first female points champion. And then if you looked at the finalists on the stage for the world championship, there were some that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And what that tells you is that you could come on any given day and you can compete. Chance Brown is a perfect example of that. He had some mentorship from some awesome cooks with John and Marty, and he made it happen. He didn't overthink anything. He just cooked a steak.
Yeah.
And anybody can do that with these classes, with mentorships and things like that, getting you in the ballpark. After all, we're just cooking a steak
and having fun.
And exactly, that's what it's all about. And that's just, the platform that we have to go with is just phenomenal. And man, we're just happy to be along this ride.
Oh, we are, and we're just tickled to death with it. And I want to tell y'all something, for y'all to be on Team Arkassippi too, and for us to get to know you. I know we don't get to cook the contest that you do much. Ronald, that's the only problem with people scattered. We don't get to see them, but we keep up with you. We know what's going on, and we're rooting for you. And we can't tell you what we, how much we appreciate what you're doing.
That's for sure. Yeah,
means
for
everything.
sure.
We talked about coming up to Arkassippi, to Arkansas sometime this year. So maybe we'll be in your neck of the woods.
Yep.
We'll see what we can do about getting our work schedules.
Yeah, we would love to. We would love to. Well,
he doesn't have to work very much longer. He gets to retire in 3 months.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
There you go. Congratulations.
You're going to get to cook a lot of steak. Yeah, you're going to get to cook it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Good.
before we let you go again, we appreciate everything that you do for us. I know y'all watch our show just about every week, of course, and we see you chiming in here. Always got great questions. But let me just say this: y'all are the kind of people that build others up, and you know what? I think the show tonight's all about that. And we want to say our hats off to you for doing that, because me and Ronald was around folks this weekend that we were doing everything we could to try to help kind of get in the ballpark. It was all about building SCA and SCA family. We were out there we had our ambassador hats on, not just Arkassippi hats. And, to see these new judges come in and take the judging class, Jim Altek done an outstanding job with what he does. Great rep. Of course, I know y'all got your brother David has been an awesome rep, and Mike McElwainey is a great rep.
And the Dolans.
Chuck and Kitty.
Yeah.
We've been blessed with all these folks. Candace and Carol. Danny Kennedy. We've got a lot of folks that we owe a lot of things to, and that makes the SCA what it is. You can reach out and touch these people, and they are they're top notch people. So it's awesome. Thank you for doing what you do, Ron. That's Jim and Laura Haskett. Good to see y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much for being on. Yes. Ron, we've had a great show. I'm telling you, it's been great. I've had a few little technical difficulties, but we're making it. You've been carrying things, so that's what it's all about.
Right.
You can handle it, can't you, brother?
Yeah. We can handle it.
Before we let it go any farther, let's talk without any further ado about the Jesse Dillon James Foundation Double State Cook-Off. Got a Friday night, and then you got this on the 18th, and then June 19th, this one on Saturday. Going to pay out some great payouts, plus some awesome steaks. Going to be some great time down there in Searcy, Arkansas. Can't wait to get there. Can you, Ron?
No, we're looking forward to it, and I think that's one of the things Slade and Candace wanted us to mention tonight was that if you're coming to Searcy, make sure to shoot Slade Douglas a text, email, message, whatever. He's trying to get a preliminary head count for the steaks. As we talked about before, steak prices are going up. Some of the supply is getting limited in some areas, and he wants to make sure that doesn't happen for this great foundation benefit here at Jesse Dillon James in Searcy, Arkansas. So if you're planning on coming to Searcy, make sure to let Slade Douglas know to where he can get a preliminary head count there.
That's right, and that'll really help them do what they're going to get done there. Also, the Arkassippi shippers went out this week, so if you guys need one of those, be sure and contact us. We want to make sure your grill store near you, or if you own a grill store and you want one of these, if you own a feed store, if you own whatever, it doesn't matter. We'll put them anywhere, won't we, Ron? And
exactly.
And so contact us, and really doing well. Let's see. Remember, Shannon Graham's got this Glencoe, Alabama, May 22nd. Goes for the kids. Christmas. And be sure Shannon and Christy Graham put this on, and it is an awesome time. And also remember BamaQ TV. You can find them on Amazon Prime, the Discovery Networks, all of across the BamaQ networks. Now on Apple TV. Remember them. Awesome group to be a part of, and we're tickled to death to be a part of BamaQ TV. We got a giveaway tonight, Ronald, from Townsend Spice and Supply. We're going to be doing the Layerology 101 again tonight. 2 bottles each of the Hottie Toddy, all queued up, and Townsend blends of your choice. If you will, first person to answer our question tonight gets that little combo right there. This past weekend, had a great contest. Falling Outdoors. What town was that contest in? We talked about it tonight. Down in Georgia. What town in Georgia was that contest in? First person gets that little combo right there from Townsend Spice and Supply. Blake Kitchens put that contest on down in this city in Georgia. And Caitlin Crane says, no, wait a minute. No. Candace Rogers.
Candace Rogers.
I'm going to take a picture of it. I thought it was Caitlin, but it wasn't. Candace come in right behind Carol. And hey, congratulations, Candace. Be sure and give Shane Lynn a call in the morning. Let him know that you won that combo. We are
He'll
glad
hook
that
you up.
he will hook you up. He's got plenty of it over there, hasn't he, Ron?
Yep.
Folks, it's been awesome to be on tonight. I've had a little technical difficulty, but we're making it. And Ronald, it's been good to have you on with us tonight. We had a great weekend.
Great show.
As we close, we got just a few more seconds. Any final words?
No, John, it's just an honor for us to do this show tonight. And, being able to bring this together for Chance. Thanks again to you and Marty, Travis McGee. Man, it's just awesome. And we're looking forward to seeing Chance out there and on the SCA trail. Looking forward to be able to cook with him as well as against him in the future. So, man, this was a pinnacle show tonight, John. I mean,
sure
in every shape, form, and fashion. So I was just happy to be a part of it.
Good to see everybody tonight. Remember, folks, when you give back, it doesn't matter where you place. When you're giving back, you're always a winner, and we appreciate it. I'm John Lindsay. I'm here with Mr. Hotty Toddy himself, Mr. Ronald Burns, and we're proud to be a part of Arkassippi Smoke Live, bringing this show to you tonight. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.